Hey everyone, this is Scott back with the Dunleading Warcry. Today I'm going to be going through the lists for an event that I'm attending tomorrow, March 14th, over in Ontario. I'm going to have another video next week going over the results of this, the results of my previous event, and then some hobbying stuff, just because I want to focus on the list today. And also, I don't have a lot of time, both on a lunch break from work and because it is very windy out today, and I've actually lost power a few times. So I'm trying to go quickly to try and avoid losing power again. So we're just going to be focusing on the lists today. So this event is called the March Muster. We got two of my teammates in the OSBGL actually running it, John Young and Josh Herod. They're putting on a 90-point OSBGL event. We're playing 4 rounds, hour 45 apiece at 650 points. And yeah, so registered. We got 22 people on the docket. I don't know if anyone last minute is joining in, but it's possible. There was a bonus TP for having everything submitted on Wednesday. So unfortunately, anyone that joins late will be at a bit of a disadvantage because I believe everyone was submitted on Wednesday when I looked. Looking over on the lists, I got a sneak peek in order to make the video. This is going to be releasing at midnight, so wanted to avoid having the lists out just before anyone might last minute sign up. So um, first off, we have Justin Bryant, one of my car mates running the Beornings. He's bringing his bears to bear. 14 models at 650 is 640 points. You can't really get higher than that. Pretty clear cut on them. That's just what they do. I'm running Usurpers, and you'll notice it's a little different than usual. I'm going to make this actually a little bigger. I'm running Thorn. I've been on the Thorn grind recently. I think I'm running him. I showed off, I think, my Adepticon list a few videos ago. I've actually changed it. I'm going to be going over the details of that in the next video because I'm running it in an event next Saturday as well. But I'm on the Thorn grind right now. The short of it is that it was brought to my attention that this warband of him, a banner, and 11 throwing spears is actually an even 200 points. It's actually like it mathematically works in my head at a lot of point levels. I don't love it at 650. I do feel like 54 models is not quite enough, but I'm gonna give it a try. This is also kind of my new warband breakdown of 4 bows, 4 spears, a 2-hander, and a flaming brand. I've kind of leaned into this combo. I like this a little better. Um, it works with the throwing spears now because I don't need as many hobo spears to make up the numbers. Um, being able to just kind of go 1-to-1 with the bows and then the throwing spears cover the rest. Next up, we have my other carmate, Jonathan Park. We were, of course, the first 3 signups. He's running Birdish Horde with just 1 Hill Troll, but he also has a Wild Warg Chieftain and a whole lot of Warg Riders. So this is a very mobile list. It's at 42 at 650. Very melee heavy, though, so could have some issue with ranged. Next up, we have Michael Underhill running Erebor Reclaimed. It's Thorin with Orcris, Dane, and Dwalin. So it's going for the big hitters. It's got a couple crossbows, but this is very much looks like a melee through and through list. Just going to beat people down with those high fight heroes, high strength, high attacks. It's a little low at 23 models, but if it cuts through everyone, it'll work. Next up, we have Reed Pertelli running Grand Army of the South. He's rocking that Golden King Amder combo. I think we've been seeing that a little more and more everywhere. I do think it's a pretty solid combo. The bosun in with some crossbows for some rage presence as well. Um, Golden King, I believe for this event, has been ruled no BPAs. So he's a little safe from everything that isn't magic. But that's what he does. Moving on to Lucas Jeffrey running Muster of Isengard. I feel like it's a little low at these points, but 29 is not the worst. He does have some berserkers, so 4 berserkers and then 4 crossbows and Vrask. You can put some range power against the lower bow counts and even like the moderate ones. They're actually a really solid group. You don't have to max the bows in this army. It doesn't benefit from doing so, but having some to put some pressure isn't too bad with Saruman in the mix. Next up, we have Mackenzie Deschamps. Deschamps. I don't know how to say it well. I'm sorry. Army of Erebor, rocking Gimli Gloin and then Bofer to protect them. And then just a bunch of dudes. looks like a couple goat riders. Is there one banner? Yeah, just one banner. But yeah, it's a solid dwarf army sitting there. Gimli and Gloin go to town, and yeah. Next up, we have Zach Stock running Kingdom of Khazad-dûm. Durin, King's Champion, and Dwarf King. Even 30 models. 10 Hearthguard are going to cut through things like butter. And then the champion group to kind of keep things going if they run into situations where they do need the banner. On to Brian Gilbert, rocking Halls of Thranduil. He loves his halls, so he's actually taking Thranduil on the Elk this time with a couple knights to help him out. And then he's got a whole bunch of Palace Guard at 8, 11 actually, because 3 is Shooting Spear. And then a Sentinel to help out, and of course Legolas. Solid numbers, 32 at 650 is pretty scary. It might do a lot of work against these similar model count lists. Next, Zachary Pertelli, Ugluk Scouts. Pretty, not to say cookie cutter, but that's kind of what Uglux is. He did opt for a 5th hero. I think 650 can go either way. He actually, I don't think he took, or he took one banner. So I think at 650, it tends to basically be, do you want a second banner or not? Is kind of how that works. A bunch of two-handers too. So he's looking to really put in those +1 or +2 stackable wound bonuses between Animosity and the two-handers. It could do a lot of damage if it gets into someone. Next up, Zach Fleming, running Battle of Fornost, Aeronor Glorfindel, of course, and then just a solid contingent of warriors and or Warriors Ministerial, Rivendell warriors, and a bunch of knights. Solid army at 650. It can take on a lot of threats just from being solid with fight value and defense. Josh, my teammate and one of the co-TOs, also running Usurpers, but he's opting for Wolf. He's got a little less might than me, but he does have Wolf as an alternative, and he is rocking 8 Krebine. I have already called him a coward, so I don't think you need 8. But you know, he wants to give 16 more wounds away in Lords of Battle. It's okay with me. But yeah, Wolf can do a lot of damage if he gets favorable positions. I find it personally difficult without a banner to support him, and then if you're also taking Thorn, your numbers just go down because I just don't think you can take Thorn, Freka, and Wolf in the same army. So you then have to drop Freka for Thorn, and it's like it's hard to justify. Then we got Jan running Minas Morgul, Fell Beast with Morgul Blade, and then a lot of Morannons between. It looks like a line of 10 with some spears behind, a couple specters, and then what is that? One banner, but also a drummer. So it's 42 models at 650. It's looking to get into melee hard and fast. And then Kardush can definitely help keep the Witch King going for a long time. This is a game where he can definitely cast with basically impunity. Then we got Chris Wines, Raddy's Alliance, Radagast on an eagle, Beorn, Gwahir, and an eagle. Solid 4. They look to just blitz the crap out of people. If they just roll really well, they will definitely hurt a lot of people. And we have Mike Collins, my other teammate, Assault on Lothlorien, running Musgur Druzag, a Wildwarg Chieftain, and an Orc Captain. So solid bodies at 50. 11 bows, 10 throwing weapons. Brings the ranged power to force your enemies to come in. And then, of course, it's got, it looks like 1 bat swarm and then 3 spiders. It looks like that's it on the beast contingent, 1 warg rider down there. But a solid amount of bodies. It's not going to go down very easily. The warg chieftain is a very solid model with the enrage on the back end. Then we have Colleen Stock, another Halls of Thranduil. This one opting for a ranger captain with a bunch of rangers over just filling the warbands. Foot contingent, heavy bowfire. It's going to look to take down things from range. It might have some trouble in melee with the rangers if playing against someone who doesn't try and swarm them. But knife fighters, bumping them up, I think it's called knife fighters for them too, can make them pretty dangerous in melee if they get the right engagement. Then we have Steve Stokes running Lothlorien, Galadriel Celeborn, the dynamic duo, and then it's got a couple knights, a sentinel, and then just a bunch of elves. Maxed out at 10 bows. I think they are all Galadrim 2. Let me see. Are any of them wood elf bows? Yep, they're all Galadrim. And the knights are bows as well. Then we have John Mullins, Return of the King, Aragorn, King of the Dead, and Legolas. Pretty not again. I don't like to use cookie cutter, but there's not a whole lot of variation you can do at this point level with him. 20 models. He did opt for spears, no shield and spears. I feel like I might have done that before putting armor on Legolas. I think that would make him a little tougher. I'd be a little concerned about strength 3, but if they just hold on, Aragorn and Legolas can really go to town. Preston, much to my chagrin, is bringing Sultan Ravenhill, and I cry if I play against him. I did win my game in January against them, but it is a tough fight. It's obviously the whole gang. This is the point level to take it. I respect the committing to it. It's really hoping for the right scenario. That's typically what it is, or a scenario that it can recover later on after it kills everything. Then we have Kevin Lawless, and Lawless it is with 3 Barrow-wights. It is Shadow of Rudour and 2 Orc captains with them, and then it's a lot of bodies. There's a few werewolves, some wild wargs for mobility, and then from there it's just a ton of orcs. You definitely can spam out pretty sizable while still maintaining all these heroes. The might could be a little tricky. It is very low might, but the Barrow-wights can definitely just turn off heroes and not make that an issue. Next up, we have Kyle Vandergraff running Last Alliance. It's Allendale, Aristor, Rivendell Captain. I've said it, I think, a few times. I really like this combo. I think it's the most powerful version of Last Alliance combination you could have. And then he's got just elves and just a few Numenorians to fill out Elendil a little bit and get those rerolls. It's a solid army. I feel like maybe the bows would have been better shifting onto Numenorians just to get some more D6 on the elves. I think that would be very powerful. But it's as bad as a whole army of Fight 5 is with solid captains. I think then just the last one is Will Schaff, who is in and out. He's been a little sick from what I heard, but he is in for tomorrow, and he's the only one that's beaten me in model count with 66 model Goblin Town. From there, he did a lot of 2-handers, which is really cool. I do think that that's the way they run Goblin Town this edition. I think if you're not taking 2-handers, you're wasting your time. It is hard to kill things without it. So he's got a lot of the 2-handers. He's got Gollum, who I think is also a good inclusion. Allows for plays that normally are unavailable. Solid army. Well, as solid as Goblin Town will be. I know everyone's pretty down on it, but it's got a lot of bodies. And if it just swarms you and you don't roll great, it's gonna kill you, especially with all those 2 hands. That's all the lists. Running over to the stats quickly. We're looking at an average model count of 33.5. The high count is 66 with Will, and the low count is 4 with Radagast Alliance. Pretty on point average for what I'd expect. In terms of good and evil, we have 12 good lists and 10 evil lists, about an even split. Monsters, there are a solid 5 of them, but it's rocking a little under 25%. Casters, 6 is a little bit above 25%. So it really seems like a lot of the armies this time around are going for troops with buffs, heroes that are solid, looking for consistent plays. I feel like there's a lot less tricks going around. It is mostly just things going for solid, but of course there's little things in there between like the Raddy's Alliance, magic and flying monsters, and then also Assault on Ravenhill just going to town, and then of course those in between and all that. It's solid roster. I didn't actually look to see what was the most common, but it's definitely elves. Elves are really, or I want to do column B. Sort. We're gonna see how many of each. I think it was really just Halls had a couple and Usurpers. We have a couple, but outside that, unique armies. I've been seeing that a lot lately in most of the events I've been at. Unique armies. The event I was at last weekend wasn't, but that was expected because it was still mostly unique, to be honest. That was expected. It was the Pool 2 event where we beat the crap out of each other. Certain armies just can't play in it. But that's the armies I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I got a lot of driving in the morning ahead of me. So I'm going to be checking out so I can get this all prepared. Again, this is coming out at midnight. Those of you playing in the event, I hope you enjoyed listening to it on your way over. And I will see you all sometime next week. See you.